So I figured what better time to start making YouTube videos than while I'm running around. I'm basically Vensky. So let's talk about markets. Let's talk about making money with your 3D prints. That's a question I get asked a lot, especially over on TikTok. It's a question I get asked a lot, even just at the markets, where people want to know when I'm doing these, hey, do you actually make money while doing this? And it's a great question. I think it's a great question because people don't know everything that goes into 3D printing. People aren't aware of everything that it takes to 3D print. And so it's just a very foreign question. But what's also really interesting is there's a lot of things I feel like in the world that are also very foreign to people, but we don't like ask because we just know inherently it's a little difficult to do. The first thing that comes to mind always whenever I think of something like that is like blacksmithing. It's like we don't wonder how oh wow, this custom knife is like $5,000 or whatever. That's a lot of money for a knife. But you know what, you guys know what I mean. And people don't ask if they're making money for it because they just I think they're just inherently like, this is a difficult task. It takes a lot to do it. So they're pricing their stuff accordingly. But with 3D printing, again, there are so many unknowns. If you don't know about it, you wonder, does the machine cost $100? Does it cost $6,000? Does the stuff that they use to print with, you don't even know that it's called filament, just the stuff, does that cost $1? Does it cost $100? How long does it take? How much electricity does it use? All these things that people don't know. So the point of this video is to not only talk about how I price things, what I consider when I'm pricing, but also to educate people who don't know anything about 3D printing, or people that want to get into it but don't know everything and they want to make money with it. So yeah, we're going to cover a whole lot of things. I'm not going to get really detailed about any of it because that'll be for other videos. If you want an in-depth, explanation about exactly how the calculations work when it comes to like pricing prints, again, that'll be a later video that will come. I'm not going to focus on any one area more than another one right now. It just doesn't make sense to me. So 3D printing. Well, printers can range from $50, and they're tiny, to tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. For the most part, 3D printers that we're all using in the market space, or even as hobbyists, are going to, I would say, range from $350 to $1,500. That's going to be your range. And that's going to be your average range, I guess we'll say, because there are some that are going to be more that people use, like Prusa XLs, people use for production. But those are like, I think bare minimum, like $3,000, I think. I don't own one, but Prusa, we can make that happen. But like the Bambu printers are going to be a lot of what people use. They're going to either use the A1 minis, the A1s, P1Ps, P1Ss, and X1 carbons, because they have multicolor capability, and they print fast and they print well. I think that's going to change just in the next year. Mark my words. I'll hopefully make a video in a year to see if I was correct, but I do not think Bambu will be the go-to for everybody, mainly because I'm already seeing a lot more people getting the Anycubic multicolor system. At the time of this video, Creality hasn't even shipped out the K2 Pluses. I'm part of the pre-orders that got told 2 weeks before we were supposed to get our shipments that they were going to be delayed a month and a half. So hopefully in the first couple weeks of November, I'm going to finally get it, but who knows. But I will say, once Creality enters the multicolor game, I think they're going to be another one that's going to give everybody a run for their money. We also have Prusa XL, again, or Prusa in general. Their printers are great and they have multicolor. The problem is their price range is just so far past what just everyday people can afford that it doesn't make sense for a lot of people. So yeah, so in terms of machines, on average, we're going to be between $300 and $1,000. I would say is probably your safe estimated bet. Filament is so wild because there are people. I I think filament is a lot like phones. You have Android people and you got iPhone people. And both parties think both parties are stupid. The Android people, though, are the people I feel like go out of their way to get really, 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 really expensive stuff because either they think it's better or they've experienced it and they're like, oh, it's just better than everything I've used. Like every person that I know personally, so take this with a grain of salt. Every person that I know that only buys Protopasta filament, which is a very high filament, expensively high filament brand, also has Androids. You know, I'm just gonna say it. Um, I don't like Protopasta. In fact, I've only used two of their filaments that I've enjoyed using. It's just there was no. I remember painting with it and went, no, I'm good. Um, the hard part is when you get into the market space, selling 3D prints. Those people who sell their 3D prints from Protopasta, I kid you not, they will price a print that's the size of my fist, and they'll price it for like $200. Because in material, it quite literally would have cost them $75. Insane. That is insane to me, especially because I have held a Protopasta product and an Elegoo product, and indistinguishable, indistinguishable, in my hands. And I would love to do a little fun YouTube video where Louis like put everybody together, and I don't think anybody would be able to tell. But that's for later. But filaments, on average, I feel safe to say the average cost for a spool of filament is $22. That is going to be the average cost. You can find them as cheap as $13.99. You can find them for $9.99 sometimes on bulk deals on Amazon. But then again, you can get them as expensive as $100 a roll. In fact, Bamboo just came out with a new type of filament that's like a carbon fiber metal-like filament, and it's $100 a roll on sale. I think it's like $150 normally. So $22 though, that covers pretty much everybody and everything. And then electricity, you know, that's on you. You know, I don't know how much your electrical bill is. Mine's 13 cents a kilowatt hour. So sorry, I'm backing up. So there's that. Then you got to take into consideration your time. I'm not going to get into it all again. I'm not going to get into everything. This is going to be a quick 10-minute video. But you take into consideration how long it takes something to print, how much power you're using, and then for that print, and then you take in, okay, I use this much material, I use this much cost, and lo and behold, on average, what I've seen is my little dragons that are about this long cost about $2.80 to make, start to finish. That's how much they cost to make. So when I sell that for $20, that's a 200% profit. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge deal. So yeah, I mean, can you make money 3D printing? Yes. We're gonna get more into this in the series. We're gonna get really down the rabbit hole of exactly how much money you can and cannot make 3D printing. I think, in my opinion, the answer is always yes. You can make money 3D printing. The margin of how much money you're making, that's a totally different story. But if you guys like this, leave more questions in the comments below. Again, I just wanted to talk really basically and really, really just very generally about this. There's going to be more videos that come out that have a way more in-depth look at how much it takes to 3D print and what the cost is, and we're gonna get into those breakdowns. But give me a like, give me a follow, please follow me. It helps me the channel a lot. Give me the likes, it helps the channel so much. Again, leave as many comments as you can about questions when it comes to pricing. And I want to know, if you are a 3D printer and you use Protopasta, do you also have an Android? Anyways, guys, I'm basically Bensky, and mistakes make magic, baby.